Brilliant. Right. To save Anna's and Emily's time, uh, let me just explain. Anna is from A Good Thing, amongst other things, and she's done some amazing stuff. Amongst helped set up the Cavalier Centre, so I can do dog agility on Thursday nights, which is a good thing. Yeah, Anna's a Sustainability West Midlands member, and we spoke a few times at the conferences. And I've often said that it would be a good opportunity to come present at Telford Business Board's sustainability group because I'm pretty sure there's good ways of matching stuff up, and I'm not going to steal any more of Anna's thunder. So, Anna, if you want to kick off and introduce yourself and how you work with Emily.
Oh, just on mute. Yep, absolutely. So I've got a little presentation to run through. So thank you for inviting me along. Yeah, I think there's lots of exciting things that are already happening in the Telford area, and just further ways that we can work together. So a good thing is on a mission to send less to landfill and more to a good cause. And I work with a good thing in a marketing and communications capacity. And we joined Sustainable West Midlands back I think it's over 12 months ago now, and I've been to various conferences, and he's given some help and guidance as well. So it's really great to be invited along today to share news. So as I said, a good thing is on a mission to send less to landfill and more to a good cause, and to kind of strip it back and think about where this all came from. It was created by Kathy and Richard, the co-founders, back in 2020, because they had first-hand experience. Richard owns a tech company. He was trying to find homes for laptops that were no longer needed and some kind of office furniture and bits and pieces. And Kathy was a trustee at Homestar. And once they'd exhausted that relationship, they then started to try and find additional routes for their waste and started calling charities, and found that it was quite difficult to actually pick up the phone, find the right person, or the charity not be like a little bit, what are you calling? What do you actually want from us? So if we think about it from the two sides, businesses generate too much waste. So approximately 1.2 million office chairs and 1.6 million office other way around, desks and chairs end up in landfill each year. And if we just thinking about that, that's just office and chairs. If you think about all the other things, all the other bits and pieces that businesses might have in cupboards that they've created for events, just the day-to-day packaging, all those different things that businesses have, there's just a lot of waste being generated. And then local charities need more support. So in terms of the charity sector, it's projected that they're going to lose £2.2 billion worth of income, and that's kind of the unrestricted funds where they're able to do, put on their carry out their projects, put on events themselves, their marketing, their PR campaign. They're losing that money from the sector. And during 2022, over 5,500 charities were closed. And a lot of them are small charities, and they're small charities that make up the backbone of local communities. They're charities that are supporting the NHS, that are involved in social prescribing, helping young people, providing opportunities for local people to upskill, and find ways back into the job market as well. So it's a real loss for the local economy. So what a good thing does is we make it super easy for businesses to donate unwanted items directly to local charities. And one of the things that Andy has mentioned to me is that, we're kind of dealing with the scope 3, but we intervene at the point before it even gets labelled as waste. This is just something that the business doesn't need anymore, so it's going to get passed on to a local charity. And we make it really easy to do that by an online web app. So what happens is the business creates an offer. It's a bit like eBay or matchmaking for waste. You create an offer, grab a quick picture of the item that you want to donate. It gets sent to local charities, so charities within a 20-mile radius. The charities get a notification. They're like, great, we need this. They submit a request, and very often they'll tell you a little bit about themselves, how they'll use the item. Then you get to choose a charity if there's one or more. And at that point, your details are exchanged. So you're completely anonymous to that point. So you won't have telephone calls and other, bits and pieces around it. So your details get exchanged, and most of the time the charity will come over to you to pick up the item. Sometimes if businesses have got, DPD coming into the office every day, they offer things nationally. At that point, it gets sent out to all our charities across the network. Or if sometimes some of our businesses have, they have transport available. We work with construction industries. We work with Crispian locally, who've also offered to deliver items to local charities as well. So sometimes delivery is on the business. So literally anything, and I cannot stress that anything, and the more we grow and the more we kind of get this message out there that anything can be found a new home with a local charity, we're starting to see more and more diverse things come up on the app. And on the screen there you can see some of these anythings. So we've got some panels that came out of a retail store in Regent Street. It was beautiful kind of carnival decoration. They took them down, listed it on the app, and the charity has taken them for their community garden. We've had mannequins down at the bottom there. We've had this huge puppet, and it doesn't have to be perfect items. So the tins of paint up there, they weren't brand new, they were half used. And you can see the crockery there, it's different bits and pieces. So literally anything can find a home via the platform. And we found homes for construction materials, insulation, bricks, 50 ladders. That's kind of like one of the most exciting things, is seeing all these different items that find a new home with local charities. So we've been working with Lyreco, and Lyreco have recently used the app. So I'm going to hand over to Emily. So I think it's always good to hear firsthand experience of somebody who has used the app. And Emily's going to tell you a little bit about how Lyreco first heard about a good thing, what they've donated and how they found the process, and kind of how we're going to continue to work together in the future. So I'll hand over to Emily.
Hello everyone. Yeah, so I'm Emily Bell, a sustainability officer at Lyreco. Andrew is on this committee as well, and he's the one that actually heard about a good thing through the Sustainability West Midlands group, and that's kind of like where it came onto our radar. This year we've used the platform to donate a set of 20 chairs. I was actually the one that filled in. I mean, I only started here in January and was kind of my first time kind of going through this process of donating, and I found it really straightforward and easy. And you just upload a picture, some details, and they were really fast at turning around, getting the ad published. And then I was surprised, within a day, we actually had a charity come back and were interested in the chairs. So it wasn't like you had to wait or chase. Well, that was our experience anyway. And I can say it was a local charity. So they were based in Shrewsbury. They went to Shropshire, supports refugees. Now, we were able to say as well that we wanted it to be collected in one, just for our point of view of ease of getting the donation out. And they actually used the army to help with the collection, which kind of made it exciting as well when they came to collect it from head office. But it really aligns with Lyreco's like sustainability objectives of wanting to promote a circular economy, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to work with a good thing. And then kind of going forward, we're definitely going to recommend the service to our customers and our suppliers, and just continue to use the platform itself for anything that we see come up in the business. But yeah, I can completely reiterate what Anna said so far. It is just really simple and easy to use.
Thank you. Thanks, Emily. And thanks for sharing your experience with us. And I guess it kind of links into when I first was talking to Emily, she said, can you have opened things, like packs of open sanitary items? Yeah, absolutely. Some charities, some organizations, you might have heard of kind of like in-kind direct, they're dealing with the complete. We kind of deal with the, as I say, everything and anything. So it doesn't have to be perfect. And I can see your question, Tony. It's probably a good time to answer that. It is sold as seen. We've got our waste policy is that obviously it's not, our waste registration certificate it's not waste, we're intervening at the point before, and we trust that the business is really open and honest about the product
condition.
and its condition, and that's because we do work with some charities that kind of repair. We work with quite a few circular charities who actually have asked us for, we want broken bicycles, we want scraps of material, because they're doing things, they want laptops that are broken because they're actually using them as part of their programs. So we ask the businesses, when you sign up, that you're just completely honest, and we have everything that comes through the app, there's kind of like a holding process. We just check it over, we look at your photographs, just make sure you know, you are doing sold as seen. So
can I just pick up on that? I don't want to interrupt your flow too much, but
no, that's fine.
It's quite a key point, because
Mhm.
the duty of care in respect of waste is very, very onerous. And
Yes,
if you
yeah.
are a business and you are passing something on to somebody else, you're either selling it as, in this case, a product, in which
Mhm.
case, even though you're not taking money from it, you have still effectively sold something
Mhm.
to a third party, and you have therefore some liability for it in terms of its condition. So do you have on your, I haven't seen your platform, but are there tick boxes to say this item has not been certified or verified as it would need to be certified or verified for use, or it is broken and therefore needs repair and whatever? Do you have those things in there? Because that would
Yes.
open doors for some of my customer base who might be interested.
Yes, yeah. So when you fill out the form, there's some guidance for you to follow through to say what condition it is, to tick off, you know, if it's what type of
Like,
product it is and how the charity should use it. So we guide you through what you should say. And I agree, it's absolutely. So if it's an electrical item, you know, you say that this is when it was last pack tested, and it would need to be pack tested by such and such date. And it's, you know, if a charity's taken it into their location, they should have pack testing and things in place as well. So no, yeah, it's a good question, and we do guide the businesses through that. And happy for you to look at it as well, because we're evolving. So if you think that there's further questions or further guidance that we need to put in place, you know, we're always happy to respond to that and make sure that we make it accessible, and, as you say, to some of the businesses you're working with. So just in terms of locally, so Crispian are working with us. They regularly refer us. I don't know how many of you know, but they have a kind of buyback program where they do bring in secondhand furniture and refurbish it and sell it. And then if there are any items that are perhaps unsuitable, then they've been referring that business to a good thing for those bits and pieces that they haven't taken. And then there are just some other businesses up there that we've worked with that have either actively listed items for other charities to take, or they've signed up for us and have started to make a plan for how they're going to work with us. So what does it look like in terms of numbers? So last year in 2023, we had over 750 matches, which was about 1.8 million items donated. By the end of last year, there were 2,126 charities with us and 450 businesses. In the first quarter of 2024, we've already surpassed 1.8 million items donated. We're seeing more and more variations of things being donated across the platform. And just last week, we welcomed our 500th business. And in terms of charity spend, and again, we've smashed this target already. So it was over £600,000 worth of charity spend was saved, which meant that the charities weren't needing to tap into this unrestricted fund, so they can funnel their, keep their money for the projects, for the things that they're running for their beneficiaries. And that's really important to them. And a lot of the time they come back to us, and we've got lots of social posts where they've said that by taking these items, they've been able to save money and direct it back to the projects that really matter to them. In terms of what does it look like, we're a KIC ourselves, so we're a charitable organisation. So we have funding from corporates and grant funding to make it cheaper and accessible for businesses. So it's cheaper than the price of a skip. So you can have unlimited offers of any size for £29 a month. But also we have the free version, because we're really keen that small businesses, you know, they might have the odd thing, rather than looking to send it to recycling or sending it to landfill or one of the many other outlets that they might have, that they can donate it to a local charity free of charge, so that we can funnel as much as possible into the local community. So I do have a challenge for you if you're willing to take it. It's just to have a go. It's free for you to list your first offer, and it can be literally anything. When I recently met with businesses in Bridgnorth, I had one that went back and had a little rummage through, and he worked out that he'd got enough envelopes for 250 years. He got boxes and boxes of envelopes, and it's like post maybe, you know, 2 or 3 things a year maximum. So he listed them on the app, and they were snapped up by a local charity. So we invite you to have a go, have a look, and give us feedback on what you think of the process, because as I say, we're continuously learning and updating. So thank you. If you've got any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. And thanks, Emily, as well.
You want to promote your pint night?
Oh, yes. So I also run the People Planet Pint meetings in Shrewsbury and Bridgnorth. So Bridgnorth has got one coming up in June. Shrewsbury's just had one, and it's coming. The next one's in September. It takes a little bit of a break for the summer, and it's a really informal networking space. You come along and you get a free drink. We've got a sponsor for Crystal. It's part of a national network of meetings all across the UK. So if you're ever working away, there's very often one happening in local towns, and lots of different people come along to have a chat about sustainability. There's no pictures or PowerPoints or anything like that. It's literally to come and network and have a chat. And we have about 30 people come to Bridgnorth, about 35-ish to Shropshire, Shrewsbury. So yeah, it's a really good evening to make great connections and just kind of continue conversations a bit informally. So that's People Planet Pint. And if you Google People Planet Pint, you'll find the meetings and the registration link.